Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the MVP race. We have single-digit games left in the NBA regular season, and the MVP race is coming down to mostly three names. And we're going to talk about those three names and all their case, basically making the case for everybody kind of in this video. So yeah, so we're talking about today. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video back on my channel that explains everything, so you can go back and watch that. Link to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the NBA's MVP race for 2024 looks like it's coming down to three names, the most popular names right now. That is Nikola Jokic, Shay GilAlexander, and Luka Donic. Those three have kind of like, I feel like the consensus top three, I want to say, for this MVP voting and MVP race. And they all have had fantastic years. Obviously, that's why they're this high in the MVP conversation and the race. I feel like it was kind of, Nikola Jokic kind of was wrapping it up a little bit the last 2 weeks. Shay GilAlexander has been a guy that a lot of people, especially in the media and stuff, have been putting at number one. But then in the last I want to say couple of days, Luka Doncic just kind of rolled his way back into getting into really into the conversation. It might be a lot of people's number one. It's been a race that's just been fluid all year. But the past I want to say maybe 2 months, this has been the top three that's been constantly being talked about. And I want to talk about all three of these guys really quick and kind of the case for each person. You start with Nikola Jokic, obviously. For Jokic, he's probably the best basketball player in the world right now. Coming off of last year's run, coming into this year, he just makes the game look too easy. He's averaging 26, 12, and 9 with the steal on 58, 34, 82 efficiency. The Nuggets have been one of the best teams in the NBA. They're fighting for the one seed, especially in the second half of the season. They've been just absolutely crazy. They've lost only 4 games since coming back from All-Star break. So they've been dominant. Jokic just makes the game look too easy. You know what I mean? He had a game against Cleveland on Sunday, 26, 18, and 16, just with no, doubts or anything like that. He's had 23 triple-doubles. He's just been absolutely dominant. The Nuggets have been dominant, and Jokic being the best player on one of the best teams. Obviously, he looks like he's in line to win his third MVP in 4 years. It's just, he deserves it. He's just playing at such an elite level. He makes everybody around him better, and he's just been probably the best basketball player in the world right now. You know what I mean? So his case is pretty simple. You know what I mean? So you got him, but then you also have Shay GilAlexander is in that mix, comfortably in the mix. Which is not something we could have really expected. Not saying not expecting him to be good, but expecting him to be this comfortable in the MVP conversation. And have a lot of people in the media and stuff actually thinking he can win. Shay this year, he's averaging 30 a game, 5.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. He's shooting 54, 36, 87 splits. He has 50 30-point games this season. He's been one of the clutchest players in the league. And OKC right now is the best team in the Western Conference. So if OKC finishes with a number one seed in the West, he's got a really good case in his own right. He's been one of the clutchest players. He does it on the offensive end and the defensive end as well, which is a big thing as well. He two-way. He could do both while being one of the top in points. And I don't know if he still leads the league in assists, but if he doesn't, he's pretty much high up there. Oh yeah, he still leads the league in steals. Steals per game. So he has been absolutely phenomenal as well, obviously. And the Thunder in general as a team have been super, super phenomenal. But Shay has been just kind of the forefront. It's kind of ejected his way all into superstardom. Really into this MVP conversation. And then, of course, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic may not have the team success that the Nuggets and the Thunder have, but he has the original stats are insane. He's leading the league in scoring. He's averaging 34, 9, and almost 10 assists with 1.5 steals while shooting 49, 38, 78 splits. And the Mavericks right now are the number 5th seed in the Western Conference after just being in the play-in. Luka has been absolutely phenomenal this year. He had a 73-point game earlier. He had a game against the Rockets his last game. He had 47, 8, and 12, or 47, 12, and 8, or whatever. It's Luka Doncic. He's just been on a different level. All three of these guys have really good conversations. Obviously, that's why they're in the MVP race and in the top three. But they've been taking their game to another level. Looking at the pros and cons of each person, of course, Nikola Jokic and Shay again have the team, the winning over Luka. Usually the MVP goes to a team that's in the top three, probably of the West, unless it's a very crazy case like when Russell Westbrook won MVP, even though his team was a 6 seed, he averaged a triple double and took a team that shouldn't even been as good as they were to the 6th seed in the West. And something can happen similar to Luka Donic, where even though he might not be a number 1 or number 2 seed, but he's averaging dang near a 34-point triple double. I mean, 34, 9, and 10 is absolutely ridiculous, And his team isn't that far out from being, a 4. I think if the Mavericks stay in the top 5 of the Western Conference, Luka Doncic has a real chance to win MVP. If they get in the play-in, he's not going to be able to win it, which is why Luka kind of fell out a little bit because his team was in the play-in. It was kind of struggling. But they've now won, 7 games in a row. He has been absolutely amazing. And I think if he stays in the top 5, in the top 4 or 5 of the Western Conference, he has a legitimate chance to win the MVP. But Jokic and Shea are going to have the, winning and the team record, which is what a lot of media talk about in terms of the MVP race. Luka has the stats over Shea and Jokic, even though both of them also are having great stats. I mean, Shea's averaging 30 points, leading the league in steals. Jokic is averaging 26, 12, and 9, but Luka averaging 34, 9, and 10 is ridiculous. You know what I mean? You think about the big moments. I think Shea has those. Shea has the big moments. He said the game winner. He had a game winner against the Knicks the other night where he really struggled throughout most of the game. It was his first game back after missing a couple due to a quad injury. He came back and he was phenomenal in that last little stretch and hit the game winner. He's been one of the clutchest players. The Thunder have been one of the clutchest teams in the NBA. So Shea probably has the bigger moments. But even then, I mean, you're going to say Jokic and Doncic don't have big moments? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Shea has more, I'm guessing, than Jokic and Luka. I think it's going to come down to literally the last game of the season to see where all the standings end, see which team is better than each. I think that's what it's going to come down to, because this is an amazing MVP race. I've been going back and forth, I feel like every couple weeks, going do I have Jokic? Maybe I do have Shea. You know what? It might be Luka now. I was big on the Luka train, especially around the All-Star break and stuff like that. But then Jokic kind of was doing his thing, and I was like, man, has to be Jokic. But then Shea and the Thunder were doing their thing as well, and Shea was having an amazing stretch, and I was like, it might have to go to Shea. And so it's been really, really back and forth. I feel like every couple weeks it's a new one of the three. It's just been interchanging. You know what I mean? And I can't really argue. This is one of those MVP races too. I can't really argue if you have Shea, you have Luka, you have Jokic. I can't argue if you have Jokic, because Jokic probably is the best player in the world right now. 26, 12, and 9. The Nuggets are one of the most dominant teams, and Jokic just makes everything look too easy. He's arguably the best player in the world. So if you have Jokic, I can't say anything. If you have Shea, I can't really say much either. Thunder have been exceeding all expectations. The Thunder have been consistently one of the best teams, one of the top 5 teams in the NBA the entirety of the year. They have a real good chance of finishing with number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Nuggets do too with Jokic. But they have a real chance of finishing at number 1 in the West. Shea has been averaging 30 points, leading the league in steals, leads the league in 30-point games. He's been scoring out of this world. He's someone on offense who can't really stop, and he's going to be one of the better perimeter defenders as well. He has amazing clutch moments, and it's a new guy in the race, which is also, I feel like, when you're a new guy in the race, you also get a little push and stuff from the media, because Jokic just won 2 in his last 3, because Luka is a guy that everybody in the NBA knows he's going to win one eventually, but Shea kind of being the new guy in the mix, is kind of just, that also gives him a little boost as well. But I can't really be mad if you have Shea either. And then if you have Luka, 34, 9, and 10 on this Mavericks team, he literally is doing everything. He has an argument right now to be one of the best players in the world. If not, he's probably top 5 in the NBA right now. I can't really argue if you have Luka either, So there's a legitimate argument for all 3 of these guys. And if you don't have one over the other, I can't really blame you a whole lot, because I've been going back and forth for the last couple weeks on who my pick is going to go to, because you probably know, but I'm doing a end of the season awards, at the end of the year, where I'm going to give all my predictions for awards and my personal awards and all NBA team and stuff. And I still don't really know who my MVP is going to be. I still kind of don't know. Right now, if I had to pick one currently right now, I'd probably pick Jokic, but even then, like, I'm not certain on that, you know? So, like, it's just been, it's an insane race to watch. It feels like night by night, it's gonna change at this point because there's only about, like, what, 7-ish games left in the season. Night by night, it's gonna change a whole lot. According to a lot of probably MVP trackers and stuff, it's gonna be Jokic right now, my basketball reference. And right now, Jokic is number one with a 51.3% chance on the MVP tracker. I'm sure if I go to NBA.com or anything like that, Jokic is gonna be high. Shay's probably gonna be right there too. So it's like everybody is kind of going through this right now. And I really want to hear who you guys think your MVP is. So if you're watching this video, leave it down below in the comment section. Who is your MVP right now and why? I want to hear some arguments. I want to hear why you think this person is your MVP or whatever, because I really am struggling to kind of figure out who my MVP is going to be. Because those three are, it's going to be between those three, though. I mean, of course, you have guys like Giannis is having an insane season, which is crazy that he's going to finish in the top three, personally for me at least. But, I mean, Giannis has had a ridiculous season. Of course, you got to give a little bit of credit to Jason Tatum. The Celtics are going to be the best team in the NBA, and he's the best player on the best team, So you got a little credit here and there to other people, but I think Shay, Jokic, and Luka are, like, concrete for me at least. That's the top three right now. That's the top three, and we're picking between those three, But, I mean, if you do have someone else, hey, leave it down in the comment section. Why? Fight your case. Fight why you think Giannis should win it, or Jalen Brunson should win it, or whatever, Don't mind that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this MVP race because it has been absolutely ridiculous this season, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the voting comes out at the end. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. We upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.